Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you the 10 things that I did that helped me really find, hone in, and get a really clear understanding of my personal style. Because if you have been here, if you've watched my videos over the last year, first of all, thank you so much. A lot of the items that I bought throughout my 20s were very much influenced, but they were also either returned or I kept them and didn't feel great in them. And I think it is because I didn't actually know what my style was. My overspending, my impulsive shopping, and the fact that I really didn't know what my style was created the perfect storm for me to really step away from everything. Which leads me to number one, and that is buying fewer clothes, buying fewer pieces. I shared a new bag that I bought, and it was the first bag that I purchased in over a year. And that was a big deal for me, considering I used to buy a ridiculous amount of handbags in a year. And that was just handbags. Like if I was buying, 12 handbags, 6 handbags a year, imagine how many clothes, imagine how many pieces of clothing I was buying.
At $400 a pop, how many of these do you have? 50? Come on. 100?
Would that be wrong?
So for me, it really came down to having to step back and buy fewer clothes. And I'm at the point now where I buy probably 1/10 of the clothes that I used to buy in my 20s. And partly that's because I know what my personal style is and I know what I like and I know what I don't. I'm a lot more fussier. I'm a lot more fussy with cuts and finishes and price tags. I didn't used to be as fussy with those things, but there are some people that give the advice that if you don't know what your style is, or you don't know what you want, you should buy and try a lot of different things. And to some extent I agree with that, but strangely for me personally, I found that buying fewer clothes actually helped me to be able to better understand and better define my style, because I feel like when I was buying and when I was doing these huge hauls and all of the stuff was just going back, I was just feeling defeated, I was feeling overwhelmed. And when I had a lot of pieces that I was trying on and I didn't know what I liked, I didn't know what I didn't know what looked good, and I didn't know, what I felt great in and what was truly me, I was feeling incredibly overwhelmed. So I feel like really scaling back my spending and buying fewer pieces allowed me to really understand my personal style. Number two, if you are someone like how I used to feel like I had so much stuff and I didn't know how to wear it. I didn't even know if I liked it. I didn't even know if it was me. And I think if you are in that boat right now, I would probably suggest that you consider slowing down, or really, if you can, stopping watching and following as many social media influencers, especially that post a lot of hauls and a lot of kind of outfit unboxings and reveals and that kind of thing. I think there is a real clear difference between a fashion influencer and a style influencer. You may really enjoy watching unboxings and watching giant hauls, but what I realized over the last, 5-10 years when I look back, consuming and actually creating a lot of that content was part of the problem, and it actually was part of the reason why I was so confused about my personal style and I didn't know what it was, and I had so many things that I was not wearing or just getting rid of. So I would suggest, if you can, to actually try to consume more style related content, because style related content is actually looking to teach you something. It's looking to teach you about maybe your proportions, maybe what looks good on you or what works for you, or just more kind of stylist recommendations as opposed to more kind of entertainment based fashion content. Because as much as I think hauls, I'm not really into that kind of stuff anymore, but I think for a lot of people, they really enjoy watching hauls and they claim to get inspiration from it. If you don't know what your personal style is and you feel like you're overspending and you're confused about what you like and you're just buying a bunch of stuff and a lot of it you don't even know how to wear it or, what to do with it, if you're consuming a lot of that content, it's just going to probably make you more confused. So I think taking a step back and looking for more stylists or people who more focus on style as opposed to hauls and fashion content, I think that's really important. I think understanding the fundamentals of style, understanding and following along with people's journeys about how they found themselves and how they found their personal style may actually be a lot more beneficial to you than watching more hauls and fashion-based content. Number three is probably one of the biggest things that made the biggest difference to whether or not I buy something and whether or not I know if it aligns with my personal style. It's basically known as the 3-word rule. So it's sticking to your 3 words that define your personal style. Now, this may seem a little bit constricting to some people, but I found it really worked for me. And you can go on Google and you can search adjectives to describe personal style, and a whole list of words will come up, or there's even, I think, certain quizzes that you can take. I'm gonna see if I can have some things linked below for you. You can do it in a quiz form, or you can simply just Google a bunch of adjectives to describe personal styles and you'll find like a lot of lists, and you can kind of hone in that way. I think knowing what your 3 words are will make a huge difference to whether or not you even buy something, whether or not you even entertain the thought of it. When I, decluttered a lot of my wardrobe, when I stood in my wardrobe and looked at most of the pieces that I had, I mean, I'd probably say maybe there's like 5-10% that don't fit into these 3 words, but for the most part, my wardrobe fits into the 3 words that are boho, minimalist, and edgy. Depending on the day of the week, depending on the season, I am a lot more boho, a lot more kind of free-spirited. In the winter, I tend to kind of lean a bit more maybe edgy, a little bit more dramatic. And my wardrobe really fluctuates between minimalist, boho, and edgy. And now when I'm actually buying things, when I'm actually looking at adding and incorporating things to my wardrobe, it's really easy for me to look at a piece now and think, does this fit into any of my categories? Is this gonna fit into my wardrobe? Is this truly going to fit into what my style is? When I was clearing out my wardrobe over the last year, it was really helpful because I'd look at certain pieces and I'd realize, oh, yeah, this is why I don't wear this. This is why I don't even like it. This is why when I put this on, I don't feel that great because it doesn't fit into those particular categories. And I never could really understand that. I never put that puzzle piece together before. Number 4, I've spoken about this before, but investing in forever pieces that really stand the test of time. Number 5, taking care of myself, obviously mentally, but also physically. I don't know about you, let me know in the comments down below, but when I have been in a little bit more of an unhealthier place physically, whether I am, not eating the best, or I'm not working out consistently, or maybe I've gained a little bit of body fat, it tends to really kind of cloud how I feel in things, how I feel in my outfits. And I think if you're already struggling with finding your personal style, and maybe you're not, or you could be taking care of yourself better physically and mentally, I'd really recommend focusing on that because I think it really does make a huge difference. I think, if you are trying to find your personal style, but you're also not feeling great and you're dealing with confidence and body issues, and maybe, you're not feeling that great in your body at the moment, I think it can make it a lot harder. I personally would recommend not trying to force it all and figure it all out at once, because I don't know if you're anything like me, trying to do too many things at once, I can get quite overwhelmed. If you are trying to hone in on your personal style and there are certain things that you're struggling with right now, but you're also on a fitness journey, I wouldn't try to overwhelm yourself too much because it can get a little bit discouraging. I mean, just for me personally. Number 6, not being afraid to outfit repeat. This was something that I feel like, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, 18, 19, I don't know if it's still this way, but maybe not, because I feel like there's a lot more sustainability, a lot more talks about sustainability in fashion. But I remember when I was 18, 19, it was considered really bad to outfit repeat. You could not outfit repeat. I remember when I used to work at a grocery store, the girls, I mean, I was never that cool, I was a bit of a loser, but all the girls that worked at this grocery store with me, they always used to talk about how they'd go out every weekend, and every single weekend they would be buying a new dress. They'd be buying a new dress because God forbid they could not wear the same dress twice. And I went through that as well. I went through that in my, early, I didn't say mid-20s, but I feel like now I'm at the place with my style where I would rather outfit repeat. I'd rather have 10 outfits that I feel amazing in and that fit me and that suit me and that are, my personal style, that make me feel the best, than 50 outfits that I just feel mediocre in, or I'm just buying them because I can't outfit repeat. Oh my God, the shock horror.
Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater.
I would rather have fewer things that I know are me and that I know work with me and that I know suit me and that I know I feel amazing in than 50 things that, I don't really, depends on the day. I know for myself anyway, when I see a woman, and I have friends who I've seen the same items on them more than once, But I never think to myself, oh my God, they're wearing the same outfit. My first thought is, oh my God, like they're wearing those jeans again that look amazing. Or, oh my God, they're wearing that blouse that just like makes their face look so bright. Or, oh my God, they're wearing that dress that makes their legs look amazing. I never think, oh my God, like they're wearing the same thing again. When you look and feel amazing in something, that's what people remember. I personally think anyway. I'm done caring about outfit repeating. Number 7, this is something that I daily, like I have to still remember to do this because it's something that I'm just forgetful with. Like I'm very much a creature of habit. I am someone who, you know, will wear the same jewelry like every day. And I don't necessarily think there's something wrong with that, but I have realized that my outfits can look just that little bit better if I take an extra 5 minutes out of my day to think, okay, should I wear this bag that I've worn, you know, 4 days in a row? Or maybe should I try a different bag? Or maybe I should actually open up my jewelry cupboard from time to time and actually switch out my jewelry, try something different, because it actually does really kind of change the whole look, but it also enhances, I personally think, the outfit. So that's something that I'm working on, and I do notice it makes a bit of a difference. Like when I take those extra few minutes to, you know, chuck on an extra necklace or two, it really kind of brings up the outfit. And also, I mean, these are very me. These are very like boho. Ooh, well, I personally think they are anyway. So yeah, that's something that I'm trying to do. Number 8, I love doing this from time to time. I love looking for inspiration. I love putting little mood boards and Pinterest boards together. But one thing that I do now that I didn't used to do before is I actually analyze the photos. I learned this a few years ago with an interior designer, but now I actually incorporate it into my wardrobe as well, and in kind of the style images that I pull. I think it's very easy, especially on Pinterest. There are so many beautiful women with beautiful hair and beautiful tans and beautiful bodies posing beautifully in these, you know, outfits. And I think it's really easy when you're looking for inspiration and when you're pulling certain photos and creating a kind of Pinterest board, I think it's really easy to just pick photos because the model looks amazing, because the model looks beautiful, because the woman is beautifully toned, skinny, tanned, you know, what have you. So now, instead of just like grabbing random images and going on autopilot, I actually analyze those images. And you would be amazed when I actually ask myself, Caitlin, what do you even like about this image? A lot of the times I actually realize, oh, I just generally like the image. I just overall think she looks incredible. Like her body's amazing, her hair's great. But then when I actually think, do I even like this for me? You know, 50% of the time, I don't. So that's one thing that, like, maybe if you're putting together Pinterest boards, if you're trying to get an idea of what your style is, really analyze the images that you're looking at, because we are, if you're anything like me, we're bowerbirds, okay? Like we're just so drawn to beauty, to pretty shiny things. Number 10, this one, you actually may disagree with me. And if you do, please let me know in the comments down below, because there'll be no hard feelings. I'm just super interested to hear what you have to say about this. But it's this idea, and it's this saying that I heard, oh God, I don't know when I heard it, but I use it now more, like just for a lot of different areas of my life. And it is bloom where you are planted. And I guess it kind of goes along with the whole fantasy self. You know, we've talked about this before. While I think that occasionally shopping for your fantasy self isn't always a bad thing, especially if maybe it's for a special occasion or something, I think that's okay. But I think, you know, when I think about where I am right now in the city that I'm in, the lifestyle, the general vibe of the city. Some of you may disagree with me on this. Blooming where you're planted is more about looking at your environment. Obviously, I mean, if you're not happy where you are, then consider potentially moving. But I think it's also, I think personal style also has a bit to do with where you possibly are and where you're situated. I'd like to kind of hear what you have to say about this, but what I've realized is I think a lot of my personal style is also kind of inspired by where I am. You know, I live in a city that's not super fashion forward. It's very laid back. I live by the beach, which maybe also kind of feeds into that boho element. The minimalism probably also kind of ties into the fact that people are really laid back here. People are really casual. And I do also have a slight pull towards more edgy pieces. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe like my year 8, you know, emo phase. But I also think blooming where you're planted means dressing for you, obviously, but also dressing to also kind of work with the environment that you're in. I'm obviously not going to show you like a day in the life of my city because it's probably boring. But if you know Adelaide, if you know, I mean, even if you know Australia, like there's no way I would be walking around like a fashion blogger who lives in New York or, you know, London or Milan. It just wouldn't work. I do think your personal style does have a little bit to do with where you are, where you're planted. I do think a part of your personal style does come down to where you are. And I think, you know, when you can accept that and when you can acknowledge that where you are in life, whether it be, you know, what stage of life you're in, but also what city you're in specifically, it does kind of make it a little bit easier to find and really kind of be clear on your personal style. As much as I think it's great to, you know, dress for you and dress in what makes you feel comfortable, I also think kind of looking at what stage you're at in life and where you are can also bring a lot of clarity. You know, like I live by the beach, I'm not gonna be wearing friggin' heels all day. If you're a mum, you may also be like that. You might be like, well, you know, I'm not gonna be wearing heels all day because I'm chasing after a toddler. I do think your personal style can change depending on where you are and what stage you're in. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that. That's all I have for you today. I hope that you find it helpful if you're maybe a little bit confused about who you are in terms of your style, what you like, what you don't like. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please share with me your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm gonna have another few links for you here if you'd like to check those out. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.